All right, guys, for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to find historical symbols for from CSX for your Run 8 sessions. It's really quite easy to do. All you need to do is go to the Wayback Machine or web.archive.org. You're going to come up to a little page like this. It's going to say enter URL or words related to the site's homepage. The site we're going to be going to is bullsheet.com. That Bullsheet has been around for a long time. I don't know if it's still updated anymore. I don't think it is, but I'm not sure. But it's been around for ages, and it was a wealth of information for all things CSX related. They did news, current news. They kept up with paint schemes. For a while, they did all the symbols, the active symbols that they were using, that sort of thing. So it was a great site. Once you search that, you're going to come up with this little graph right here. And this is basically the years of the web page archives that they have. I don't know what determines what gets archived and when, but what I like to do is I like to do like late 2002, 2003. They don't have symbols available for all these years. Okay, they stopped publishing the symbols sometime in 2004. I've seen them as late as June 2004. So 98 to 2004 is when they have the symbols published. If you go to one of these other pages, let's do 2007. We'll select that. Now we got our calendar. We'll pick August 21st of 2007. They have an archive because you see these little dots here, right? Each dot indicates that they have archives available for the page. We can go to 10 a.m. Select that. It does have a snapshot. And sometimes it's a little slow to load, so like don't freak out. Sometimes it doesn't work at all too. I want to go ahead and say that, like you may go to Wayback Machine and do a search and it'll throw an error or something, and I don't know why it does that, but it's usually best just to leave it and come back later and try it again. But if you see there's nothing over here about train symbols. So in 2007 they don't have any symbols available, but if we back up and we go to we'll say 2003, we'll do early 2003, February 1422. Here we go. This says CSXT freight trains. You click this link right here. And then it's got a listing: Q trains, K trains, Z trains, CP, Sioux Line contract, grain, coal, locals. They've got it. Let's hit Q trains. Once that loads up, you're going to have your series, your number series here, or you can do it by station too, which is also really cool. We'll do it by station. By station this time. All right, now we've got a list of cities here. You can go, since we've been doing a lot in Savannah here lately, let's click Savannah. And now we've got a listing of all the trains that passed through Savannah in February of, was 2003 is what we selected. This is the Q trains. It doesn't include the auto racks or coal or any of that. You have to do that separately, but this does the intermodals and the freight trains. So these are all the trains. Q103 Charleston to Jacksonville. It even tells the time that it hits Savannah and leaves it. 1745 out at 1845. Q104 departs Jacksonville TOFC and is in Charleston at 1330. Hits Savannah at 0840 and leaves at 10:25. You see it also tells the schedule daily. Some of them are Tuesday through Saturday. L trains are off schedule, so Sunday and Monday. So it's a wealth of information, and sometimes you can kind of, at least I assume, when they have a longer block of time at, let's say, like Savannah right here, that could be potentially allowing for a pickup and a set off. That's the way I read it. I haven't seen anything that said specifically. You'll see like this one here, they're there for an hour. They're there for a while on this one. Let's go down to 174. They're there for an hour on that one too. 173 doesn't have an end time. L173, 15 minutes. So yeah, I don't know how much those mean, and also, like, you know, take these schedules with a grain of salt. Like, they have a departure time, right? I don't think people realize that freight trains do kind of run on a loose schedule. At least they have times that they try to get them out of the yard, right? Certain times every day. Sometimes it works that way, sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes they can get them out of town on time, and other times the yard may be all jacked up and everything's running behind, and they may leave late. Or they may leave on time and something happens, you know, on the way and they get delayed. So, like, this is just a rough idea. You can run them by the schedule or you can run them a little bit off, you know, but at least it gives you a little bit of an idea of how they're running. But you can see we've got a ton of stuff. All the pigs. What else? Q407 Rocky Mount to Savannah. Q409 Selkirk to Waycross. 410 Waycross to Selkirk, 491, 492. So it's got everything you need, right? It's got everything you need. All right, let's back up. Let's say we want to see the Q200 series because they're not in by the by station listing, right? It's only the intermodals and the freight trains, the slot freights. So here's our 200 series. We'll look at some of the Jacksonville stuff. Here's Q215 Cincinnati to Jacksonville. You see, it's supposed to leave. It's a daily runner. It leaves out at 12:45 out of Cincinnati and should arrive at Jacksonville at 0100. Like I said, take that with a grain of salt, though. Some days it may be behind. Sometimes it could even be a little early. So just depends on how the railroad's moving that day. What else we got here? Here's a good one. Q214 Baldwin to Louisville. What else we got? There's going to be a Q245 Detroit to Cincinnati. Sometimes it doesn't say this on this particular list, but sometimes I know for a fact, sometimes this train did run to Jacksonville all the way from Detroit. They would annul the 215 and run the Q245 down there. It wasn't all the time, but it did happen from time to time. So yeah, here's all your 200 series trains. Here you go. This is after the juice train changed the symbol from R250. Yeah. So there you go. That's your auto rack trains. We could do it by this number series, right? We'll do Q600, 699. So this is all the trains in the 600 series, and it even has a little key up here to help you out. Q100, intermodal, automotive, that sort of thing. Let's see. L's alternate schedule. S is second section. So yeah, here's all the 600 series trains. If we want to do some stuff for Waycross, right, then we see that 684 is Waycross to Nashville, and he leaves out of Waycross about 11 a.m. 682 leaves out at 2200, and kind of looking back, like looking at this schedule is kind of how I remember it when I worked, because I remember getting 682 a lot out of Manchester early in the morning. Like this is pretty close. It may be a few hours off, right? It could be 9 in the morning or 10. Could be as early as 7, but yeah, it's pretty close, within a few hours, right? All right, just for curiosity, let's check out the 100 series again. I will look at something because there's another train that we used to have every morning was 124 Manchester 1230. I remember catching him earlier sometime, so he may have just been running early. But I remember catching him a little earlier than noon. It seems like my memory could be fuzzy, but it seems like, I mean, they can run early, right? They absolutely can run early. They don't have to always be late. Look at the 500 series here. Here we go. We'll look at 592. It's another one I used to catch out of Manchester and Waycross a lot. So let's see, where's it at? 592 Waycross to Chicago. This guy used to leave out of Waycross fairly. I don't ever remember getting it at 5 a.m. Usually it was like 7 to 8. So yeah, few hours grace there. This is about right. The time it left out in Manchester here, usually late afternoon, early evening. So yeah, pretty close on that. All right, so we're back on the main menu. You can look up locals too. Go to locals, and I think you have to do them by state, right? Yeah, you have to do them by state. So we can go to Georgia here. And we'll look up the Fitzgerald local. There you go, A726 Fitzgerald to, it says Wiggins. I guess it turned at Wiggins. I'm not even sure where that's at, honestly. I think it's basically up and then back to Fitzgerald. We've got A731, the Old Fort Switcher. 732 Sand Turn. This is where it's a little different. I don't remember these guys running out of Manchester. It's not to say they didn't. I kind of thought they did it out of brown sand, but you know, it's not always going to be 100%. 768 is going to be Waycross to Jessup. His time outs at 0700. You can even click on them, and it gives you a little bit more information, right? A little bit. So a little bit more in-depth times as far as where they hit, you know, and what time. Let's go look at the coal trains real fast. Back that way. Coal trains. Here we go. We'll do N100. Here we go. N100, Clover, Kentucky to Power Park. So this was Jacksonville. This would go up the Kingsland branch to Power Park. Let's click him. He'll give you a little bit more in-depth information on it. That didn't work. See, there may not be a record for that. Let's try this one and see. There we go. There's a record on this one. So these are kind of weird. It's like multiple trips, right? It's like it departs Clover and then hits Corbin and Etowah and Atlanta. So we know just by looking at this, the fact that it goes through Atlanta and Manchester. Manchester is even a better indicator that this is going to be a Fitzgerald coal train, because remember we talked about coal trains either coming down through Savannah or via Waycross that way, Manchester and Waycross. So we know N100, anything or what's loading up at Clover will come down through Manchester in that way. So you see then Power Park, this is basically Jacksonville, and it looks like it's got part of the return trip going back towards Corbin. I don't know why it has that, but it gives you a little bit of an idea of what the coal trains did. Let's look up N171. I think this is going to be a Savannah train. Yeah, out of Irwin. It doesn't have the mine. It's starting in Irwin. Let's find here we go. Bevins Branch to Coal Run, Shelby, then Irwin, Spartanburg, Casey, East Savannah. So this is a train that goes down the Savannah side, right? And then goes to Jacksonville, Sanford, Taft. So this is, I didn't even take the look, but this is actually a Taft coal train, right? This is a Stanton 171. Yeah, Taft. This is a Stanton coal train. So he came down the Savannah side. So that's your coal trains. Let's try this one again just to see if maybe it was a fluke that it didn't work. Yeah, that was just no record for that one. Sometimes it is just that way, right? Like sometimes the records are incomplete. So there's your coal trains. What else? We could do K trains. I don't know how complete these are. Let's do K800 series. Let's look for 869 is one I remember. There we go. K69, Bensonville, Illinois to Mulberry. This is going to be, it should be like a molten sulfur train. The record's incomplete. So yeah, sometimes they're kind of hit and miss. You know, you just have to kind of go with it. Let's back all the way up. Okay, so we're back to the search result. If you want to try another year, we could do 1999 or 1998, right? You just select that. And we'll do, let's do nothing really in the middle. Let's do November of 98. You can only select what has the blue dots. The blue dots indicate that there are records for that particular day. All right, let's do freight trains. And you go through these, and it may be a lot that's the same, but you may see some things that are a little bit different. Things change a lot on the railroad. It's always really fluid as far as things changing. Q trains by station. Let's do Waycross. Oh, not found. That sucks. Okay, let's try Savannah's not on here right now. It's kind of odd that Savannah wasn't listed in the early years. I've noticed that kind of browsing through it. We'll do Jacksonville. This may not work. It may not. There we go. We got Jacksonville. Here we go. Q103, Charleston to Jacksonville. So yeah, kind of the same. Very different. Yeah. 455, 456. It's interesting. There's no what is the Jacksonville 458 and 457. You notice he's not listed on here. And there's a Q233 that was running. So there was a Q215, the Cincinnati to Jacksonville, but there was also a Q233 that was running Louisville to Jacksonville too. I've never heard of that train running to Jacksonville, so this is kind of something new to me. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing. He was a daily runner too. 2 auto-rack trains going daily to Jacksonville back in 98, late 98. I don't know. This one's kind of a puzzle to me. And there was no 457 and 458. That's the Waycross to Jacksonville service has been around for years, but in 98, it looks like it honestly looks like 455 and 456 were kind of taking care of that, right? I mean, they got a little bit of time there, an hour and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, a little bit of time. All right, let's back out of this. Go back to our graph. Let's go 2003. Let's do June 21st, 2003. Select 1344. There you go. Load it up. Let's do Q trains. We'll do by station again. Q trains by station. And let's do Jacksonville. Let's take another look at it. Let's see what's changed. If I can find it. Here we go. All right, so you see things are a little bit different now. 457 and 458 have been added on daily, or this one, 458's daily service, Jacksonville to Waycross. 457's Thursday through Tuesday, Waycross to Jacksonville. Everything else looks pretty much the same. They got, okay, yeah, you see at this point, they've added on some new pigs. I definitely remember these, 179 and 180. East Thomas, Alabama, BNSF East Thomas to Jacksonville service. So yeah, those are on there too. So either way, pretty cool thing. Like I said, if you're wanting to look for historical symbols, this is the way to go. This is pretty much the only way to go, honestly. Pretty in-depth information too. Right, it's definitely more than just like your usual symbol list that you see. Right, you see it posted on train orders all the time. These are all the symbols that are running on CSX, and they may give the departure and destination, but that's pretty much it. So this is way more in depth. To summarize, bullshit with the Wayback Machine doesn't always work. Sometimes it may be glitchy. You see, sometimes the pages are incomplete. Sometimes it won't work at all. I mean, you just have to wait and come back to it later. Also, the symbols are only from 98 to sometime in 2004. So they stopped publishing the schedules in 2004. I'm assuming that's probably due to 9/11. Let's see. Do they have any? Let's try late 2004, December 13th. As you can see, no option for symbols now. They've done taken it off. I'm pretty certain it's because 9/11. They kind of quit making that information available, right? Let's do let's do February of 2004. There you go. They have the schedule in February. So sometime in 2004, they quit publishing them. So if you're wanting historical symbols, look 98 to sometime in 2004. Anything after 04, you're not going to find. They still have archives of like the other stuff, the news and all that, but just not the schedule. Anyway, I hope this helps you guys out. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. We'll go over it. I'll also provide a direct link to this return right here, and you can just start surfing the graph on your own. Love all you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
No, Big Cat, no. Stop.